Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video, and we have a new update coming up, 5.88, I want to say. But there's a new update coming to the game, and I thought we could cover a little bit of what that's going to entail. So that's what we're going to do. It should be a pretty short video as we just go over the new updates, and yeah, that'll be it. Okay, these are the updates for 5.80, and I will have this link down below in case you guys haven't seen it anywhere else, so you can get to it nice and easy. But basically, it's some basic stuff, right? First off, the big thing is there's a referral program update. This means that this is getting reworked, and it's actually really nice. You're getting, I think, more rewards. There's a void shard, there's a sacred shard still, but on top of that, you're going to get fragments for some really nice champions, an epic champion and a legendary champion, and we'll cover that at the end of this video. But some really good champion updates there, so that's going to be great. That does mean that, you know, using your blue stacks, using alternate accounts, getting with your friends to create some dupes, or, you know, maybe what it's designed for, get new people into the game. That is all very valid ways to get these, you know, get your account referrals and make your main account just a little bit stronger, because I think these are champions that everybody's going to want to get. Like I said, we'll cover that towards the end here. In addition to that, we also got a new skin for Madame Sarah, so like, that's cool, right? Nothing wrong with that. They got a Blood Devil and Hell Birth skin. I mean, you know, if you're big on the skins, that's a cool thing. It's not my personal thing, but it sounds pretty good. I think more importantly, though, we have a new Forge Pass coming along for Season 3, and it's going to have a new set for us, Bolster Set. And this is going to give you a 30% HP shield for 3 turns, as well as heal your champions by 10% every turn. So this is actually pretty nice, I think, because obviously regeneration set's great. It's 15% heal every turn. We have Immortal Gear. It's, I think, a 5% or 3% heal every turn. Both of those are really good, and Bolster Set kind of fits right in between them as far as the healing part of it goes. But on top of that, you're getting that shield, and so often we are trying to find extra buffs for our seer teams or extra protection when we're going into these dungeon bosses and stuff, and this seems like a really good one, especially going to be good when you're trying to build those scarab teams and you need that shield to start, but you also want to heal and regenerate. This is going to be really good for those particular sets, I think. Now, does this mean it's worth getting the Forge Pass? I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest, the Forge Pass has never really made me excited. I haven't gotten it yet, and I don't really anticipate getting it for this set either, but I can see this set having a lot more utility for people than the previous one. So definitely, if you are somebody that likes getting the Forge Pass, I think Season 3 is probably going to be better than 1 and 2, frankly, just because the sets available are going to be a better one, more useful for you. So in that sense, it's really good. Now, the other part I want to talk about today is we're getting some champion reworks here, and these are 3 champions. We got Jarang, we got Lady Atessa, and we also have Tashada. And then these are all 3 champions that do not get used for good reason, and I don't think any of these updates are game breaking, but we will be able to see these champions, I think, get a little bit more usage now. This is going to make a bigger difference for early and mid game players that don't have a lot of champions to choose from. Specifically, Jarang, I think, gets the best update out of all of them, and you can see here his A1 attacks one enemy. Instead of a 50% chance of placing that stun, it's now a 75% chance. That means when booked, that will be 100% chance to land. That is a huge ability. That's his A2, not his A1, but that's a huge difference. Being able to stun consistently is massive. And then you can see Talon's here, his A3 skill. This is the big one, right? Because having a decreased defense or decreased attack champion is so vital to having success in this game, especially for clan boss, but for every area. And he was always like that, you know, if you're really struggling to find somebody, you could always pull out Jarang. Well, the problem was his chance to land wasn't 100%. Now it is, right? So attacks 3 times at random, and that's 50% chance to place decreased attack and decreased defense is now boosted to 75% chance. That means it's going to be a 100% chance when booked. That's a huge update for his kit. So I think that's actually really good for the Lizardman faction. You can see here we have Lady Atessa as well. She had a 25% chance of placing block buffs on her A1 before. It's now bumped up to 40%. It's not too bad. It just gives it more of a chance to land. The A2, again with the stun, 50% to 75, so it'll be 100% when booked. And then the A3 attacks one enemy with 2 random allies. And before, this only did an extra 10% increased damage. Now it's going to do an extra 20% 20% increased damage, a lot like Longbeard does actually, but only if the target is under fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, stun, or petrification. Before that used to only be stun, so that's good. It definitely broadens the horizon for that extra bonus damage, and I think that's a good thing generally. It's a small ally attack ability. It's nothing crazy, but it is nicer than it was before, so there's something to be said for that. I still don't anticipate using her. Just don't see that really being the case, but if you have her and you don't have a lot of other options, I think now she becomes very usable. And then we have Tashada. Now, Tashada is pretty trash champion because she was always the one that needed both attack and defense to do damage. Well, they finally changed her damage to being based only on defense. I think that's a huge change. On top of that, her A1 now will give her an increased defense buff instead of an increased attack, and we no longer have to crit in order for that to happen. So that's definitely a good thing. It's a 50% chance to land, so 50-50 thing, but on our A1, that's not bad at all. The A2 has a 3-time attack, and again, the chance for these things to land has been bumped from 50% chance of landing a weekend to it's now a 75% chance, and that will book to 100% when she's fully booked. And it's the big weekend now, the 25%, not the small 15% one, and you no longer have to crit or anything like that. So that's definitely a bonus, I think, there. And then, of course, we have the A3, revives an ally with 40% HP and 40% turn meter, then heals all allies by 15% of their max HP. This is much better than it was before, where it was a heal or revive when you kill somebody. It is like the worst possible skill condition you can get. So this is definitely a good thing, getting at least you have a steady heal on that skill, even if you don't need the revive. So that's not bad. I still don't see her necessarily being used, but there's some good things here, right? She's defensive base now. That's good. She's barbarian. We don't have a ton of revivers in barbarian, so that's really good to have. The weekend can land the increased defense on herself, so she's protecting herself with that A1. And then, of course, she has that revive and heal. So I can see Tashada having some usage, especially in faction wars where you're trying to get through certain stages. I don't think she's great. I still probably wouldn't recommend building her, but she definitely seems to have more viability now than she did before. Now, as I alluded to before, the referral program is definitely changing, which is great. So you can see you can get fragments for some of these new champions, which is really awesome, I think. So obviously we have this epic champion right here, right? And if you get these referral links, you get 3 people to join, get them up to level 10, you're going to get enough fragments to actually get this new champion, which is pretty dope. So all you have to do is get 3 accounts up to level 10. That's a very low bar. And if you are able to get them all ranked up all the way, then you can actually come down here and get referral links for another 3 accounts, and that can actually get you a legendary champion, which is pretty awesome also. So there's definitely some cool stuff coming in through this, and I think that's going to be really great for everything in general. You also can get an extra skin, which is pretty cool for this champion, right? You have the classic, and then you have the hectic. I don't care much for skins myself, but I think that's a cool thing, definitely, to be able to have that ability. Same thing for this legendary champion. I think you get a new skin available at the end of it if you can unlock that as well. So definitely worth getting some referrals out there for friends or for yourselves. And then if we take a look at the new champions, you can see they're both in the barbarian faction. This is Jamarsa, and she's dressed a lot of protective clothing going on there with her. At least her face is secure. But it's a pretty cool looking skin, I'd have to say. If we look at her kit, though, I haven't even looked at this kit, to be honest with you guys, so I'm kind of interested to see how this plays by itself. I've heard really good things, though. Chance for sleep debuff on 1 turn, and if Cronam, who's the legendary version, is on the same team, that sleep debuff and the sleep was resisted, will place decreased speed instead. So this is not so bad, right? You're going to get either sleep or decreased speed with Cronams on the team, but sleep, it's still an A1 skill, so it's not really, I'm not too concerned about what that does necessarily. The A2 here heals a target ally by 30% and fills a turn meter by 30%. That's pretty good. And if it's used on Cronam, he instantly does an attack. That's a really nice combination right there, obviously. And then the last one is a revive of all dead allies. So that's always a good AoE revive. We don't have a lot of that in Barbarian faction, so this is definitely a useful champion to have, even as an epic. For passive ability, whenever an ally uses an active skill, has a 20% chance of decreasing the cooldown of that skill by 1 turn. This is what makes this champion so cool. I have heard rumors of this. This is bonkers. We have a built-in a built-in, because it goes down to 1 turn cooldown, actually goes down to 0 turn cooldown, so there's no cooldown on it. This is ridiculous. It's a built-in reflex set for your entire team. That's wild. I mean, talk about being able to just go through skills over and over and over again. Jamarsa is going to be insane for comps. Absolutely insane. Now, you know, it's not going to be great for necessarily every speed tuned team out there, but when you have skills that can be reduced, you know, randomly all the time, that's going to be extremely good. It's kind of an insane skill now that I think about it. Just really, really wild. I mean, so she's got some revive, she's got some healing, pairing well with Grohan, some debuff stuff. But more importantly, she's got this reflex. I think importantly, this is going to be great on Doom Tower and tough waves. I don't know anywhere else where it's really going to be crazy necessary. But for those areas in particular, I think that is wild. So a champion uses a skill and immediately has an opportunity, 20% of that skill being refreshed. That's going to be really massive for us. So definitely a cool champion, interesting. I'm really intrigued to see what kind of builds people come up with to utilize this champion. And then we have Cronam. Cronam the Barbarian. I think it's Conan right here. But he looks dope. I'm down. I like the rough hair. I like the double swords. Very cool, dude. Let's check his kit out here. A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of a random debuff on the target. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice for an A1 skill. And if Jamarsa is on the same team, each hit also increases the duration of any HP burn debuffs on the target by 1 turn. That's in addition to. So that could be really great against dungeon bosses or Doom Tower bosses. That seems like a really nice ability right there. Let's see. Attacks 3 times on the A2. Each hit has a 80% chance of instantly activating any HP burn debuffs on each target. That's pretty great. Heals this champion by 10% of their max HP for each HP burn debuff activated by this skill. That's great. I mean, obviously books to 100%, but that's, you know, that's kind of ninja skill right there. This can be really strong ability. I really do like that. Then the A3 attacks all enemy, has a 80% chance of placing HP burn debuff for 2 turns. Fill this champion's turn meter by 15% for each HP burn debuff placed by this skill. So that's a very interesting ability. Obviously, being able to place HP burn is fantastic. As an AoE is great. Getting the turn meter boost is really nice as well. I can definitely see him being very successful in areas like Spider, where he places an HP burn, basically gets another turn because of all the turn meter boosts he gets, and then activates those HP burns on the Spider Queen herself. Yeah, or whoever. I guess it's at random, right? But that can be really, really effective. And then let's look at the passive. Every 10 times active skills are used in battle by either enemy or allied champions, this champion instantly activates the Berserker Delight skill. Oh my. Oh my. This happens every 5 times active skills are used. If Jamarsa's on the same team, oh my gosh. If Jamarsa's on the same team, revives this champion with 50% HP and 50% turn meter when killed. Oh my goodness. Well, that is interesting. That is a crazy combination. Look, I mean, if you are, oh boy, if you are new to this game, you're early, mid-game player, you absolutely want to get this champion, get those referral codes out, you know, create them if you have to on your own. But this guy's going to be insane for your progression. The fact that he's activating those skills so often is insane. Pairing him with Jamarsa is going to be wild. I'm really intrigued to see what people can come up with utilizing this. I still haven't used any of my referral codes, and I've been playing this game for like 3 years. I think I might have to now. Time for the free-to-play account to come in to play, right? This is insane. That's going to be really, really strong. Now, I don't know how you're going to utilize this in something like Clan Boss. Obviously, speed tuning is really crazy. He's got a lot of turn meter stuff. There's those random cooldowns coming from Jamarsa. There's a weird combination, but boy, those two are going to be really nice together. I'm very, very intrigued on having these two play together. I can just see insane amounts of damage coming out of him. And I think I think that's going to be the insane combo for a lot of these these Doom Tower bosses specifically. I think it's just going to be absolutely wild. So, wow, very cool. I'm very excited to see this guy in action. I definitely need to get him. I encourage you guys to start getting some referral accounts going. So that's kind of the news for today. Hopefully hopefully that was informative and kept you up to date. And that's all we got, guys. So if you like it, hit subscribe. Until next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.